And we're locked in. It's the You're an Idiot podcast. I'm Alex Dragovich. Joined here today with me, one of the GOATs, one of the legends, one of the greats, Tommy Brennan, everybody. How you doing, Tom?
I'm doing good. One of the legends. Thank you. Appreciate you.
A Chicago OG. Went to LA, now in New York. We're going to get to LA in a second, too.
What a miss that was.
A whiff.
Yeah,
a whiff of a move.
A 2-year swing that just really I made no contact.
Tom, you've done this pod now twice already. The people know you. They love you. We don't have to do too much intro. I want to get into it immediately. You have a story. You hung out. Okay, I want to set this up properly.
Yeah.
You hung out with an NBA player.
Yeah, briefly.
And some comics.
Yeah.
And things didn't go to plan.
Well, here's what's going on. You're like a TMZ reporter. You want this to be such a scoop.
I'm trying to get this out of him, folks. He doesn't want to get into it, but we're going to get into as much as I can.
It's not listen, I fucked an NBA player, and that's fine. No, it's really not it's not. Please,
you fucked Bull.
And wow, was that magical. I mean, they climbed that like a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he could hold someone on his shoulders? His legs look like they would give out.
Yes. 2 ACLs broken immediately anytime he tries anything weird. He's a 9. Yeah, he would be. That would be absolutely insane.
Yeah,
he's like 7'2".
Jesus.
But I remember you told me the story when we were in a green room.
It was making you laugh.
It was supposed to be probably for just us. But I said, why don't you come on the pod, bro?
I'm like, oh, this is a fun story for Alex, and you're immediately like, how do we monetize this?
Yeah, I was like, what can I get out? How can I squeeze the juice out
I'm
of
a
this?
diehard Minnesota Timberwolves fan,
as we know,
much like your recently deceased co-host.
Dead to me.
And same to all of us.
Yeah.
And I mean, when he left the pod, I said, see you later.
He disappeared.
No, but a huge Timberwolves fan. I was at the game last week.
Mm-hmm.
Where they played the Nets here in Brooklyn. And we went, and I shot a DM over to Luka Garza.
A Serb.
A famous Serb, a former unbelievable college ball player.
Iowa all-time leading scorer.
Yep.
He's ugly or hot in person?
A piece.
Really?
Hot. He's like a hot version of you.
Yeah, I believe that.
He's got a jaw that if you didn't do comedy ever, you could have had it.
I could have kept like from 20, I feel like from like 50 feet away I look good, and from 50 or from like 5 feet away he looks good. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, when he was on top of me, he looked good. You know, it was
he was
banging me. I was trying to keep that thing going.
I always forget. Tom does make a lot of gay jokes.
Oh yeah,
but they always come across and always like that could have.
Yeah, I didn't like how you were like, right, of course.
Yeah, Tom could be.
You guys kept the lights on. No, his hair. He's doing more with his hair though than you've ever tried to do.
Yeah,
you've never really, You've kept your hair real. My dad's a cop.
It's cop energy. I tell my barber scissors on to just do scissors all around. That's all he does.
Oh, that's good. At least you're not getting clippers.
Yeah, that's the white supremacist clippers are kind of gone.
That's good.
We're leaving that in the dust. But he's like,
he's a good looking dude.
Yeah,
and he's 7 feet. I think he's like 6'10"
and jacked,
huge. Yeah, so. I don't know why we got into that, but I know he's a comedy fan.
Yes.
So I shot him a DM. I go, I'm at the game.
Mm-hmm. Slid in.
But I slid in. I was like,
you and like bottle service girls hit him up that night.
And we'll see who he chose.
Dude. It was like it was nightclub bottle service girls. Some influencers, hot girl influencers, and Tommy,
and a kid just trying to show him his 15.
So you said come by the cellar.
I said I have a spot at midnight. I know you're a comedy fan. If you want to come by, let me know. I'll get you a table.
Sick.
And then I went with my 2 friends that we were at the game with to remain unnamed.
Yes.
And
these people will remain unnamed the whole time.
Yeah.
We're going to be inconspicuous here.
And we went we just went and grabbed a beer after at a bar nearby. And I'm like, the show's at 11:30. My spot's not till 12:20. So I'm like, I got time.
Yeah.
And I'm not really paying attention. Then I check my phone Because I'm like, Luka is not going to respond.
Mm-mm.
Check my phone. He's like, oh, bro, that'd be great. I'm on my way.
Wow.
I was like, oh, shit. Get in the car. We got to go. We run over there. I'm texting the seller. Also, like, I didn't know if I could do that.
Right.
Like, I kind of was offering blindly. I'm new there.
Yeah. Right.
I'm like, what am I doing? And
what's the seller saying when you're like, hey, can I get...
I texted the manager, Liz, and look, she is a basketball fan. She is a Heat fan, though. She doesn't really like the Timberwolves. So I text her, I go, hey, a guy on the Timberwolves wants to come to the midnight show. Any chance we can get him in with like 3 buddies? And she was
three
like...
other NBA players.
That's what I thought it was going to be, honestly. I was like, if a starter shows up, I'm freaking out.
And Jaden McDaniels just wants to...
Oh, my God. I would have sat with them.
Yeah.
But... she responds, fuck the Timberwolves, I'm a Heat fan, you know, and we're fucking around, but she's like, yeah, no problem. And so he walks in and we get him a table, whatever. And then I'm like, I'm not going to say hi. You know, we all see him and my friends that are with me.
Wait, you don't dap him up like, hey, like, thanks for coming by?
No, he
like,
came in after the show was starting.
Oh.
So it's kind of like, you know, we're sitting back at the comics table and it's in the Village Underground. And then he walks in and he's getting sat. And so it would have been a lot for me to like run up and be like, hey, what's up?
You're kind of interrupting the...
Also, I have a rule. If I'm ever meeting a famous person, and this isn't like a super famous person, but like a high status person.
Definitely.
If they can, I wait till after they see me go up. Because they just respect you more, hopefully, if it goes well.
Oh.
You know, like after you go up, you're like... You know, I just saw him do the thing he's a professional at.
Sure.
Now he's like, all right, I
you.
saw that this guy's not a complete idiot.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, fair.
So I kind of like it just always goes better if you meet after.
That's fair. Okay, yeah. I was just thinking logistically, he like walks in, he's like, where's this guy I've been talking to?
Oh, yeah, but it's such like
they took care
white
of it.
glove service there. Yeah. And I was like, you'll know who he is. He's 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
You know, and so they like treated him very well. And then whatever, fun show. And you know, my friends are like you should go say hi to him. I'm like, no, we're gonna say hi after the show.
Nice.
Because they're enjoying the show. We're watching them. And I did this move. I covered their check myself.
Fuck.
Which it's like, I know he makes $2 million a year, but just as like
it's Googleable.
Yeah, exactly.
His bank account is
I looked it up
as
I was covering his check. I was like, damn, I can swing 120, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And it's...
he got 7 beers and fries. And
I was like, hey, man, you have a game tomorrow.
Yeah.
But that was... I was like, all right, I'm going to play it cool.
That's such a sick move, by the way.
Well, because they're good at being cool, too, the staff there. So they walk up, and he's like, hey, we'll close out. And he's like, oh, it's been taken care of by a comic.
It's like you're Sebastian Maniscalco. It's like you're a fucking...
I'm the king in there.
It's like you're the fucking...
And I'm trying so hard to be like subtle and cool. I was overthinking every aspect of it.
Right.
And now it's finally show's over.
Sure.
We go outside. We meet him out there. He's like, dude, what's up? We dap it up. We hug it out. Meet the friends. Meet the girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then...
girlfriend's not ugly.
No. And then now...
She live in New York?
This is where I get annoyed. No, I think she traveled for it.
Great. Cool.
She's from the East Coast. He's from D.C. I think they're all East Coast people.
Great. Keep going. Sorry, my bad.
No, but this is where I...
Can we pull her up, Connor?
Now we're talking. It's me. One friend left, so I'm just with the one friend.
So it's the one friend.
Yeah, who's also
nameless.
Remain nameless.
We're gonna be vague
but
here.
he is a Timberwolves fan as well.
Sure, we don't have to mention that part.
The poor. Well, this is why it was poor behavior.
Oh,
is all of a sudden Luka's the hot girl at the party.
Of course.
Now friend takes over the conversation a little.
So he starts. He hasn't talked to him yet.
No.
He's just
he jumps in a little too this is my night now.
Is it harsh to mention that he's not in at the cellar either?
No, I mean, you just did.
Right.
But yeah, it was a little bit like, hey, like I'm kind of like,
yeah,
you know, it's just like, let me have this.
How much were you talking until he butted in? Like how quickly, like did he wait his turn?
Minute and a half. 2 minutes.
Little much.
And now I get kind of pushed off to the friends. Because
I'm 90, just like, he gave you 90 seconds.
Yeah, and I'm just like kind of I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna go with it, whatever.
Oh,
and then but then it becomes a little too much. Friends are getting kind of annoyed with
unnamed
our
guy.
Boy.
We're gonna call him unnamed guy.
And now I'm kind of having to be like, no, yeah, he's just like drunk, but he's harmless. Yeah.
No.
Like, well, because he's kind of asking for stuff. It's just it's not going great. Because the main thing is just like, act like you've been there before.
And he's a little jumpy. This guy,
little jumpy, this guy's a comic. Fanboy.
He's fanboying. He's a T-Pups guy.
Yeah.
And you basically say, "Hey, Luka, thanks for coming to the show." And he butts in. He goes, "Hey, Luka, what's going on?"
It's a little bit like, I'm like, how you liking living in Minneapolis?
Great
I grew
city.
up there.
Yeah,
we're talking like normal adults.
Right.
And then it's like, when you got subbed in against the Nuggets last year, what were you thinking when you had to guard Jokic? And it's like, oh no.
Oh.
It's like I brought my little brother to interview for
sure
ESPN Junior or whatever.
Yeah, dude, ESPN Kids.
Yeah,
dude.
It felt a little bit like that,
no,
it's
Sports Illustrated Kids.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's whatever. It was fine as they leave. Luka's like, yeah, hit me up in Minnesota, whatever.
Sure.
It's good.
Did Luka make any faces like who's your boy?
No, he was fine. He was good.
He was cool.
It wasn't.
The girlfriend?
Like,
no one was. It was clear though.
One of the friends was a little annoyed.
Yeah.
Because he said something when he asked a question about basketball. He said something like, "Hey, he's like being interviewed" or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, it's fine." He just said it to me.
So one of the guys was like, "What is it, an interview?"
Yeah. And to be fair, that guy, I don't know. That guy, not a great vibe either, but it was just like,
yeah.
I felt bad because I was like, well, this is my boy. And they don't know that he's also a comic, but like,
right.
They didn't see him go up.
No.
So they don't care.
They also don't. Yeah, that is the thing. It's the cachet.
They saw me go up.
You have no idea who's, yeah.
And so I felt a lot of responsibility, and it was a terrible, anxious feeling.
He was interacting because he was with you. Like Luka Garza's girlfriend is like, I'm his girlfriend. I have a seat at the table. He was like, I'm Tommy's boyfriend.
Yes, I have a seat on him.
I'm Tommy's boyfriend. Yeah. I have a seat here too.
Yeah,
essentially. So he's kind of screwing it up.
Yeah, it just was a little much. And then towards the end,
do you think he cut off the conversation? As I'm cutting you off here, obviously.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, we weren't gonna kick it. It was late. It was 2 in the morning.
It was clear that things were winding down.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Like he did suggest going to a bar. Our boy did, and they were pretty much like, no.
And that puts them in the weird spot to be like they have to.
And I was like,
that.
I mean, he's in the middle of a 7-day road trip. They've got Philly in 48 hours. I doubt he's gonna want to hit McDougal Ale Street Pub House or whatever it's called, He
doesn't want to put back Guinness.
Yeah, he's not gonna.
At 2:30 in the morning.
He doesn't want to shoot pool right now.
He wants to fuck his hot girlfriend and go to bed
at his friend's apartment.
Yeah.
And so it was just like a little bit like when they walked away, I just said, "Listen, you didn't play that great."
Yeah.
And then he was like, "What? It's fine. It's fine, whatever."
Shit.
And I said, "All right, fine." And then in the morning, I texted him. I said, "Listen, I woke up very upset with you, and if I wasn't friends with you, I wouldn't tell you this, but you made last night about yourself pretty quickly."
You gave him the dad talk.
Yeah. And then I got a phone call about 5 hours later, and he apologized.
5 hours later, he's got to pick that up immediately.
Halfway through the phone call, he took the apology back. It was one of those things where he was walking through it and he's like, he's like, you brought the hot girl to the party. I tried to talk to her. And I was like, see there, you're getting it. That's exactly what it was. And then he's like, yeah, but honestly, it wasn't a big deal. I was like, and it's fine. It's water under the bridge. But I was fresh off it when I talked to you.
Yeah, and I was loving it. I couldn't get enough of a story like that. It's true because it's also like handling interpersonal, getting real with your friends is like it's not easy.
It's not my strong suit either. I'm way more likely to let it go and just bury it and slowly resent you.
Sure.
And that's not good. And I've been trying to be better about that.
Equally not good to bury.
Yeah, because then I would just be like, I would have it in me that I'm like, so-and-so did this thing that I've always been mad at him about.
Right.
But instead, I just like told him, and then we talked about it, and then we saw each other in person the next night, and I gave him more shit about it. I was being a petty little bitch. But now I do feel kind of past it.
Well, it does help, dude. We're going to get back to it in a second. I sent a, like, I talked about this on the Patreon more, but I can say it now because I think we're past it. I had a friend who, he and I, we kind of grew a little distant. I was not very happy with his drinking.
Oh, yeah.
To be, this guy.
Yeah.
I sent him, like, one of the longest, like most, like, thought out things I've ever sent. It was probably like 2 in text. It looks like a book.
Yeah.
In text, it looks like a book. I wrote it on my notes app. It looks like probably 3 or 4 paragraphs.
Oh,
like
shit.
Fucking long. Just being like, this is how I feel. I gotta say this.
Yeah.
This is how I felt.
Because again, that's one of your boys.
And he immediately got back to me, and we are like, and it felt amazing. He was like,
Fuck
not
yeah.
like, and we like got back to where we were. It feels amazing.
That's great.
Because I had always been, it's like, I also felt like, I've always like distanced a little bit. But some people, like the guy that we're talking about, the guy in your story, he has a personality where you can kind of approach him like that.
Yeah, that's true.
There's people in your life where you're like, well, they're just not going to take it well.
Yeah, like this will just blow up.
Yes.
And in a bad way. Yeah, that's true.
And
he didn't take it like that.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, he tried to like knife you back a little bit.
Well, yeah, he like did. Yeah, about halfway through, he was kind of like, you're being dramatic.
He came into the convo, hands up. I got nothing on me. And then he tried to stick you in the middle.
Yeah, he kind of stuck one back in there. I was like, no. That's like the next night when I saw him in person. I was like, you piece of shit.
It was another talk.
Oh, yeah. Well, that one was more just like me just throwing jabs at him. I was just like, I want to hit you a couple more times.
You're going to give him shit for this for maybe like.
I might be done with it now.
Yeah.
But.
That's fair.
So I also got a text from Luka. He was like, dude, that was sick. It was.
Oh.
So then I was like, all right, we're good.
Yeah, dude. The hot girl texted you next day.
Yeah.
When the hot girl texts you next day, folks, when you don't have to follow up after a date like that.
Yeah.
And you're just walking on air.
Huge.
When a 7-foot Serb.
Yeah.
Who's on the T-Pups texts you like that.
Averaging 2.6.
Yeah.
No, he's the man.
That is so fucking dope. That's a great story, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, these things happen. These things don't happen all the time. So it's
you don't. You'd think you meet more famous people in this business, but
sure,
you really don't get to.
Yeah,
or you do, but like so briefly and stuff. Like this felt like I was like, oh, this is like a cool thing.
The last like cool interaction was like. When I was opening for Trevor Wallace, Chet Hanks was at the show.
Okay, yeah.
And it was almost like, not to be that guy, it was like, there was a sense, he was a really nice guy.
Yeah.
But of course, there was this like, I think like anyone would, there was this like ironic like attachment with it where we were all like, oh yeah, like white boy summer.
Yeah.
It's like, not like, it wasn't like capital C cool.
No, it's kind of like,
It's like, here's the guy that from like Twitter.
It's like taking a picture with a meme. It's like you're not like, oh, I respect this guy as a person.
Sure. Yeah. Like we're all like trying on his chain and everything.
Right, yeah.
We're all just like, yeah, dude, white boy summer.
He's basically a princess at Disney World.
Yeah.
You guys are like, can we take a pic? I have to just.
I gotta show this to the chat. Dude, it was like, and like me and like Zach Townsend like immediately tossed it on our Instagrams the next day. Like we were both like, and it was what was kind of lame on my part was like it was 10 minutes of being like, of taking pics and being like, haha, like I'm with Chet Hanks. And then the next like 4 hours, like, he went to Northwestern. Like he's a fucking really bright, cool guy. Like he's like the sweetest guy and like very down to earth and like very like and just easy to connect with.
But you hadn't thought that he said anything other than white boy summer
the whole time. Yeah. I'm just like, oh man, I still gotta post.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, speaking of the famous dude thing, I actually wrote this down. had a little bit of a fumble with a famous guy.
Ooh.
So I get to just looking at our time here just to make sure we're all. So I get to LaGuardia last weekend. Flying out of I'm flying to Columbus. I see Sam Morrill at the airport.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh shit, like that's the boy. That's like that's my favorite comic, whatever.
But you guys know each other too, right?
Never met him.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm going to Columbus, whatever. I'm not gonna say hi. I'm not gonna be that guy. I get to my gate. I see his video editor and the guy we know, James Webb.
Oh yeah.
He records all his stuff. He's done his specials. James Webb's done like 15 comedy specials.
Original producer of this pod, right?
Yes. He's one of the best in the game.
Yeah.
And so I got kind of lucky. James Webb and like Sam's like trailing him. Like because they're all like in a group with like Gary Veter.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh James, what's up, dude? And we dap up. James introduces. He's like, this is Alex, hilarious comic. We like, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, I got that out. Whatever. We meet, like we all say hi. And then so they're actually flying to Columbus for like a 7-day, starting a 7-day tour.
Oh,
so we're at the same gate.
Yeah.
I make sure to sit like 20 feet away from him.
Good
right?
move.
I'm like, I'm giving him space.
Yeah.
Now here's what happens.
Oh, no.
He's walking. I did not expect this, dude. Because I'm fucking like on my laptop. I'm trying to go over like my set or whatever.
Sure.
He walks up. He's like, dude, I've seen your podcast clips. I'm like, huh?
Let's go.
I'm like, what, dude? He's like, yeah. He's like, don't you do that with Jeffrey or whatever? I was like, and I couldn't say like that we weren't doing it anymore. So I was like,
we just
yeah. He's like, no, I've seen your clips. Like really funny, man. He's like, I can't believe I haven't met you. And then I fucking fumble. I'm like, I go, no, dude, like I go, I'm a huge fan, man. Like, and then I go to say you're the best, but I stop at the B. I go, you're the best, and he's like, what? He's looking at me. He's like, yeah. I was like, you're the best. Like, yeah, thanks though, man. I'm like fumbling it. I'm like,
buddy.
So I'm like
killing me.
I was like, because like in my head, I'm like, I was not ready for him to walk up to me.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Wow.
But
what a cool move by him, by the way.
I know, dude. I just couldn't believe it. But then I was like, yeah, so what are you doing in Columbus? He's like, we're starting this tour. And he's like, he's like not selling like I thought or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool guy moves.
Yeah.
Like, he's doing theaters or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, what are you doing, Columbus? I'm like, oh, I'm like doing these Don't Tell weekends. He's like, oh, I heard those are great. And he's like, he just played it really cool, just being like, hey, I hope to catch you in New York, man. Like, crush it out there. I was like, yeah, you too, Mr.
Mr. Morrill.
I was like, yeah, you too, crush it, man. I had,
oh man,
I had zero composure.
That's very fun.
Zero composure.
But it doesn't sound that bad.
It wasn't.
It's
it
just
wasn't
the
like,
one sentence you're overthinking. You're the
well, stopping
you,
at
dude.
you're the best.
Yeah.
To you're the.
Like, I guess you're not quite the best, but you're up there.
Yeah.
You're top 5, dude.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like fucking, like Gaffigan's pretty good.
I guess, yeah. Well, at what point do you cut it off? How far back do you go? Because if we go far enough back, you're not even really top 20.
If we're in the real pantheon of like comics, but he was like, I did not expect him to, and I just I fumbled, but it was cool just to be able to. And then this is also, I wrote this down. Tail end of the flight, last 10 minutes gets mad bumpy, like pretty fucking bumpy, where we're all like, people are looking around, couple screams, all I'm thinking is like, if this goes down, it's just Morrill dies. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if this goes down, it's like me and Veter, like whatever. Like it straight up is like, we lost Morrill.
Plane crashes after young comedian botches interaction with Sam Morrill.
I was like, well, I'm not getting remembered for this at all. I was just like, it's just like best comic in the game.
Yeah.
And his crew.
Also, there was another guy there.
But yeah, dude, it was I don't know. I feel like it's hard to play those because even early on, even if you're a few years in, like if you're hosting at a comedy club, if you're doing a guest spot, like you'll run into these guys, and it's hard sometimes to know how to play it, but yeah, Sam 1, me 0, folks.
I have two fun celebrity run-ins. One that I botched, but it's gonna sound like a brag. and then one is just fun. Did I tell you the Jessica Alba thing?
Oh yeah, tell the
I don't think
people.
I said it on here.
Oh yeah, this is
I was it was early on at the Cellar. Like I was maybe like 2 or 3 weeks in, and we did the show, and afterwards, like there's a group of like comically hot people there, like men, women. They're like Amazonian, just like huge hot people.
Yes.
And some person's like, oh yeah, fucking Jessica Alba over there. I'm like, yeah, I know. And then they walk up to us, and it is Jessica Alba and a whole bunch of models. They were like meeting for some show they're working on, and then came to the Cellar. And like, I mean, it was crazy. She introduces herself to all of us. Like a bunch of comics are standing there. She says like, good show, whatever. We meet like their staff. And then she leaves, whatever. Oh man, one guy, he ruined this entire interaction. This makes the Luka Garza thing look like, oh boy, nailed it. One guy came up, I'll tell you who it is afterwards. He came up and he introduces himself like after they had kind of already introduced themselves to everyone.
No,
it was like too late.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Oh yeah, hi, good job." And then he goes, "What are you guys doing here?" And they're like, "Oh, we're meeting for this new show. Like this guy's producing it, whatever."
Oh, sweet.
And he goes, "Oh, well, it's good to meet you then."
Oh,
and shakes his hand.
Just to
It was like
just to do a move, like he thought he was fucking Don Draper.
Exactly, dude. Like he thought he was like being smooth, like well, obviously you'd want to work with me then.
Oh,
and like the vibe on everyone, like her assistant immediately goes, yeah, I think we're gonna head out.
Oh,
and like he just ruined it. I was so mad.
Jeez.
Yeah, you knew who that's. I mean,
that's fucking awesome. That's
anyways,
so funny.
Then, so then I get home and I go to my girlfriend's place and I'm sitting there and I open my phone up. I've got a notification. Jessica Alba followed you on Instagram.
Let's
Holy
go.
shit.
Let's
I open Instagram. I've got 2 DMs from her in the request folder.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
First
show
one,
your girlfriend.
I literally did right away. I'm like, babe, I got to tell you something. Jessica Alba's in my DMs right now.
Yeah, and it's not going good for you. It's not looking good for you. Yeah.
I don't want you to be mad. She was like, no, I get it. First one is like, you were our favorite tonight. Cute jacket, smiley face. Wow. Second one is, holy shit. I didn't mean to send that from her account. This is her assistant. Unsend, unfollow.
Oh.
She hit the unfollow.
Is this all in like 3 minutes?
Yeah, like I'm watching it happen live. I watched the messages disappear.
Wow.
With my girlfriend. I was like, look at this. Yeah. It was so crazy. And then of course get like 2 DMs from her assistant.
So from the assistant's
Those
account.
stayed in the request folder.
Yeah.
It was less exciting.
Hey, it's JA's assistant.
It's like, okay. But
nice
I was like,
jackets.
she follows like 8,000 people on Instagram. I'm like, leave the follow. You jerk.
At least see the new clips.
Like, yeah, let me show her the clips.
Is cooking.
Yeah. Wait, a couple good
wait till the new
there.
stuff comes out. No, dude, there's 3 minutes where you're just like, that's unreal. Here's the thing.
It is kind of a thing where you're like, how am I going to play this?
I also, and
obviously
course.
the answer is I would reject her and say I'm in love with my girlfriend.
Yes, you would
Bitch.
not just keep call her you call her a whore and tell her to stay out of your DMs.
I said I had a girlfriend on stage, you ungodly.
I want to preface this question because one time our buddy Dan Perlman was like working on something. Or no, he was like out at he was like friends of friends with Emily Ratajkowski.
Whoa.
Like they were at some like sceney like movie show producer, like Dan, Dan's
cool.
like he's locked
he's
in with
in
people.
He's in the industry.
And I asked him, I was like, is she hot in person? And he was like, are you retarded?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. What do you think?
It's like
take a swing.
It's just one of those things where I was like, sometimes you want to know, like, it's like maybe like, is it like a TV thing? But I imagine now saying that Jessica Alba probably in person is probably even hotter than you would even think, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like her and the people around her. It is like, oh, you guys like don't belong here.
Yeah.
Like you belong in a different sphere. Like it's weird seeing you in this like dimly lit room.
Yeah. Because it's they have it's just like
perfect.
It's a perfect face.
Yeah.
Yes, that makes sense. Okay.
It was her and like a bunch of people hotter than her, honestly. Like,
yeah.
I mean, these models were just unbelievable.
People say that too about like the NBA guys. You go there and like you don't even realize how tall they are or whatever.
And just huge. Just every aspect of them is just
they're
massive.
Yoked.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a completely she's a different like level of person.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. J.A. assistant. Was the assistant cute? Do you even remember? All right. That's enough for me, folks.
Yeah. She's in a tough crowd, you know? You know.
Right. Even if a college player's on an NBA court, like
they look pretty small. You know? We put you up next to
sure.
a couple of those big boys.
Yeah, if I was on the Bulls, it would look weird.
Yeah, I wouldn't respond to your DMs.
Well, let's just keep this like fucking train going while we can. I just like while we're like in this sphere. Like this is a question I wanted to ask. You've been opening for Nikki lately, Nikki Glaser.
Yeah.
Let's just stay in like the famous person, the big comic category. What are her shows like? What's that all about? Like anything stick out to you about like working with her?
It's honestly not crazy. Like the shows are just hot. Her fans are good.
You don't go out cold, do you?
For a long time. No, a couple times I have, but
yeah.
Mostly there's two of us on the show.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, Sean O'Connor and me, and he's very funny. He goes first and gets him going. It's like the easiest 10 to 15 minute spot. In my life.
You walk out there and just
and it's
yeah.
I mean, they're like 3,000 person theaters, and they're so excited to see Nikki. And it's like she's been a famous comic for so long that like her fans like just know they're down.
They're ready for
comedy.
It. And
like,
if you've been kind of like what's the word, like ordained by her, picked by her, they're like he's gonna be good too.
They trust it. Yeah, they show up on time. Like it's pretty just sick.
I actually have a question about that. I'm gonna ask you on the Patreon. I want to put this down.
Yeah, it's been very cool. Got to do the Beacon with her in New York, and
dude, yeah, that's sick.
I was in the green room afterwards, and I was talking to some people, and Chris Rock was in there, but he was over, talking to Nikki, and
holy shit.
And this is my other famous person story. The one that this is just kind of like a brag, but I botched it. It's I like he leaves, and then Sean, the other opener, goes, "Did you just big time Chris Rock?" And I was like, "What?
What do you mean?"
And I didn't even talk to him. And he was like, "Oh, he just stopped and said like, 'Hey, Tommy, good stuff.' And you didn't respond."
Oh.
I didn't hear it, see it, clock it at all.
Oh.
And then he walked out. And I wanted to like run after him and be like, "Hey, man,
bring the pain. Bring the pain." You want to tackle
you're one of the best top 3 comedians of all time.
I'd be tight.
I was hiding on the other side of the room from him because I was like, I don't want to ruin this.
Yeah. You want to steer clear.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What was he? Was he just kind of popped in?
He sat and watched the whole show.
What?
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Whoa.
He like came to the show with
was
his
he
friends
just side stage?
No, he sat in the crowd.
Chilling.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Watched the whole show.
Did he bring his daughters or something?
He brought his friend, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. It was cool.
What's in a rider? Nikki's rider. I love a rider, dude.
Oh, it's nothing crazy. I'm trying to think. Am I gonna violate an NDA? No. It's like LaCroix and it's LaCroix, popcorn, M&Ms.
You snacking?
I added Cheez-Its to the rider.
Come on.
And I did.
She goes like, when you come out with me, like, is there anything you want?
Yeah.
Sick.
She's great. She's like, add whatever you want to the rider. I added Cheez-Its and LaCroix.
LaCroix's big.
She's just like a Diet Coke, Smart Pop. It's nothing crazy. Because then we go out for like a nice meal after shows.
Yeah, some guys have like sushi on their rider. It's so odd, dude.
Yeah.
I don't really get it. No, that's so. It sounds like these are. Did she hit you up on IG or something?
Yeah, she saw clips on Instagram, and then talked about on her podcast about how like she'll see a young comic sometimes that she thinks is funny, and then she gets bummed out when they don't follow her. And so she talked about that on her podcast, and I was like, I saw she followed me, so I obviously followed her back. And then I was like, I heard about it, the podcast thing. I watched it and I hit her up. I was like, I'm so embarrassed, like whatever, but like, thank you so much for the shout out.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, oh, it's all good. Like, you're very funny. And then a couple weeks later, it was just like, if you aren't on the road with anyone and you want to come open for me, that'd be great.
That is so dope.
It's been sick. It kind of changed my life.
No,
she's amazing.
No, that's so fucking sick, dude. Nikki Glaser, everybody. Yeah, she's she works with like Emil too.
Yeah, so that was the thing. It was like she knows the company. She knows Jeff. She knows Emil. She like loves Emil. Emil was like her last like consistent opener.
Oh, okay.
So she was like, you're friends with all them. Like,
yeah,
you're good.
That is so dope.
Yeah,
very good. The Nikki story, the Alba story. Let's move on to Tommy a little bit.
All right.
I got some stuff that I want to ask. I got some stuff I want to talk about. Tommy, you were straight A's your whole life, class president Notre Dame.
Yeah.
The hair's perfect.
Sure.
The kid is locked in.
Trying to be.
You're locked and loaded. What are your vices, Tommy? When Tommy's being naughty, what's he like?
Substances.
I only know
what
a
are you
little.
Talking about?
I just want to. I know I could have guessed, but I want to see.
Like
you like to get a little high. You like to get a little high.
Weed for sure. Yeah.
You like to get high.
I love to get high. Yeah. I smoke pretty much every night.
Right before bed.
It's a real end of the day thing for me, though. I'm not great out and about.
What we used to do back at the crib when we lived together, it would be a little weed and whiskey.
Weed and whiskey. We were getting a little zipped up.
Is the whiskey out of the equation now?
I haven't really been boozing that much anymore.
Yeah, same.
Just because of the road. I made a rule that I can't drink on the road anymore.
Wow.
And that's following that the last like, I don't know, 8 months has been pretty successful. I mean, I literally lost weight immediately. Just because now I'll work out on the road. That's like basically what the trade-off was. I don't know. Is it a thing where it just like if you're gonna put a couple back, is it just like fuck you up the next day, or is it just? It's just like slowly but surely, because I wasn't getting like fucked up, but it was just like, you know, you look back and you go, oh yeah, I guess I had 3 or 4 last night just at the club.
Sure.
You know, between shows and then after shows.
Yeah.
What I was doing usually if I was featuring is like, I'd do the first set, then I'd get a cocktail for the rest of the first show. And then at the start of the second show, maybe get a second one.
Whoa.
And
okay.
then now I'm too deep by the end of the second set. Now maybe one more at the end. Yeah. And now it's like you're just kind of buzzed and it's like, but you're in Oklahoma City and you're going back to the hotel.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit like, oh, what am I doing? And that's
good. No, that's a good.
So just like kind of cut that out.
That's a good system. I don't drink in between shows anymore. I think it's also, I also don't get drunk or even like get buzzed, until Saturday night.
That's great.
So Saturday, that's like my new.
Because that is a huge miss is getting too fucked up on Friday.
So Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
If that sneaks up on you, dude.
You're so miserable going into the Saturday shows.
It ruins your weekend. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. But the vices are
also
weed and like.
So you bring in? I mean, I guess you can bring a little. Can you bring a little weed on the plane? I don't even know how that works.
I fly with weed everywhere. Yeah,
the kids. If
they don't,
if it's gonna
look at my face, they're not gonna arrest me.
They are not gonna arrest you.
I'm not bringing it to Canada anymore because I heard people are having a harder time.
Oh, really?
Getting back in.
I feel like Jeff should just do that then. He's always asking people for weed after shows.
Well, yeah, I think you don't want to. He doesn't want to buy it.
He just doesn't.
People
want
give
to buy
him weed. If you ask for weed on stage, 100% of the time you'll get it.
Somebody will be like,
I've done it plenty of times.
Really?
Tough to do from the feature spot though.
From the middle, minute 14. Hey, by the way,
before I get out of here, I do that instead of a merch pitch.
Yeah, you're at the Beacon.
Yeah.
Is anyone here's okay?
If anyone has weed, that'd be great. I'll meet you at the stage door.
Oh my god, dude. No, that's good.
Yeah.
I feel like we all have kind of locked in a little bit
for sure
from compared
all of a sudden
to
you're like,
Chicago.
you gotta just like take this seriously. It is a job.
Fuck, dude.
And it's a very fun job that you cannot take seriously.
Is there there's nothing. I feel like too. It's like there's all you're. I'm not to poo poo some of these cities, but it's sometimes I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm in Cleveland, like. What else am I going to? I have to write something. Like I have to get I have to get a lot out of this or something out of this, or what the fuck am I? Why the fuck did I fly out here? You know, obviously you're out there to do the job, but it's like, it's a, that's what I use it. That's the motivation the motivation to not drink now really is to fucking lock in. And
yeah, I have to plan my next morning usually. That helps me not booze. I go, all right, by 11 I want to walk to like this coffee shop, and I find a place like half mile away usually.
I do. I Google the shops too.
Yeah,
that's the best.
That's big.
That's the best.
And then I try to find a place to shoot hoops if I can.
Nice.
I'm hitting a lot of YMCA's. Got that from San Maril.
Really?
Mentioned.
So you bring your kicks with you then?
Sometimes I'm just in running shoes.
Sure.
But every once in a while a good game will break out, and now I'm the guy playing
in Brooks
fours in Hokas, like legitimately. Like no one's passing me the ball. I'm like, come on. Let me hit a corner three once and you'll pass me the ball.
Fire it up, guys. Yeah. No, that's so fun.
I find that a lot. I mean, I ran the marathon last year, so I was doing a lot of like running on the road.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of the motivation too out there. It's like, all right, let me hit like a either a 2-hour walk or a jog and see this little city.
It's massively important. The sweat.
Gotta get outside.
Let me do, this is a question I ask everyone now because I just think it's so fucking good. This is Sean O'Brien. We've been asking it the last like 5 or 6 episodes.
Sean O'Brien?
Yeah.
Wait, is he a listener?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet it's the same guy.
Do you have a Sean?
We have a Sean O'Brien who writes to us like every week.
Is he one of the goats?
He's an all-timer.
No, he's an all-timer, yeah.
Yeah, it is, because he's talked about you guys in his comments too.
I mean, yeah, dude. It's you're part of the
let's
universe,
go.
dude.
That rules.
What do you wish you cared less about, Tommy?
Ooh.
Isn't that just a stunner?
I mean, this is a lame answer, but just like what people think about me. But that's too big, I think. I mean, specifically, I wish I cared less about what my friends and other comedians think about me. That's my big, my sleep paralysis demon is the comics in the back of the room.
Oh.
They give me the most anxiety of anything in my life.
Is it just anyone, or is it just the crew?
I just think everyone back there doesn't think I deserve anything. Thinks I get like crazy imposter syndrome. I think everyone does.
Sure.
But that's like where I place it, is like, it's not like I don't think I deserve this. It's those people back there in the back of the gutter at CYSK. They don't think I deserve anything.
Every time. It's always that room.
That's the room that I picture when I obviously I'm using those I'm using that as like a scapegoat or whatever. Like,
sure.
I'm not thinking of even like anyone in particular, but it is like that, the vibe of like comics in the back of the room. Because there's a few times in this that I've kind of jumped ahead.
Sure. Oh yeah.
And skipped some of the more grueling parts, I think. And I used to catch a little flack for that. And
really?
Yeah, just like, like I've never been like a 30 open mics a week guy.
Sure.
And some people, that is kind of like the traditional route, whatever. So like I think that's where I created.
But you got on the road pretty early. Which
exactly.
So you like.
And like I didn't really like. By the time I left Chicago, it's not like the Laugh Factory and the Zanies were like, "This is our boy." And he's like at the top and he's ready to go.
Well, it was. I remember like when I first moved out here and I started going out with like Asmus a ton. I remember thinking, I was like, "Oh, this is how like Tommy got good really quickly." Because I was like, when I was out with Jeff like 6 weekends in a row, and like
20-minute spots,
and your act just like doubles essentially.
Yeah,
you're like, "Oh yeah, like this is what." I don't know if it's the right word, but like, the open mics can be like reductive maybe or something like that. If it's
and it's like, I don't know. Eventually, you're just trying to make them laugh, and then that's often like not really great. So yeah, I wish I cared, but it's so crazy because as much as I've been like, that's not the route to success. Yeah, I also care a lot about what comics think of me, and I wish I cared less.
It's a real. I don't know. I don't know how to conquer that either. I don't think you ever conquer it.
No,
I don't know.
I think everyone's got it. When I get off stage and I get back to the especially like at the cellar, if I get back to the table and there's like good comics sitting there, I go, you guys just saw me do the same set. You probably have seen 30 times.
But you're supposed to, aren't you supposed to do that?
But I find myself like apologizing.
Sure.
Norman saw me do crowd work last week, and I was like, great. You think I'm a crowd work guy.
Oh, wow.
But you don't know the context of why I had to, and I spiral.
I mean, dude, there was when I was at Sesh over the weekend, or last weekend, there was like, Dave asked a big comic to go first.
Yeah.
And he was like, first? Like right away. And I just remember being like, I remember being like, if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't give a fuck where I'd be going on this.
You think that? Yeah.
But I guess because there were hitters on the lineup.
Yeah.
They were all good.
Yeah.
It was like some really fucking great comics. The lineup was packed. LA people were on it. And I think no matter how big you are or wherever you're at, you don't want to see your 6 other peers see you go first.
Yeah.
And like probably not do it. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe possibly there's that chance that you have to eat that bullet.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
I'm just realizing in real time where I'm like, in the moment, I'm like, just go first, you fucking famous bitch.
No, but it's like, I don't want, I'm famous.
He's looking at us.
Yeah. I don't want them to see me eat one.
Yeah. Because then he's going to go home going, they think I'm a fraud.
Yes.
We figured it all
It never
out.
goes away.
Yeah.
People at every level feel
because it's not about the crowd. I can perform.
No, it's not about
I can bomb for an hour straight for people I don't know. If my if my crew's around or whatever, it changes.
Yes,
we've all seen each other do amazing and do terrible.
Yeah,
and it doesn't. Our opinions never change.
I know, but you feel like they do. And yeah,
it's crazy, folks. We'll keep this moving. We still got some time. Yeah, we got time. We'll get off the comedy stuff a little bit. Girlfriend for 1.5 years, 2 years.
A year and like 3 months.
She's great. You're great. You guys are a fucking match made in heaven. Right? That's as much. That's as much we're gonna leave it at that. Nothing more contextually, but. I love this question. Yeah. When did you know the honeymoon phase was over?
That's a good cue. I think, well, we had kind of an interesting situation. So we started dating long distance.
Yes.
Because I was planning on moving to New York. So I was starting to come out here a lot. I was doing about a week every month.
Yeah.
For 4 or 5 months. And we started seeing each other. And then it was kind of like, okay, this is kind of real. This is a real thing.
Yes.
So then it was just, we had a bunch of just 5 days at a time.
Easy. That's cake.
Yeah, kind of. It was stressful.
Really?
Well, because you kind of like, once you're progressing the relationship, like I was coming here for comedy. You're not like, I'm not like coming here and being like, let me spend 5 days straight with you.
Oh.
It was.
Yeah, when I was seeing the girl in New York, when I was in Chicago, it was always to me, it always felt like those like 4 or 5 days was like, it was always, there was nothing could go wrong in a sense.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We had almost the exact opposite.
Well, it's because you're like.
I was trying to fit way too much shit in.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was like coming here, I'd be like, all right, in 5 days, I got to do 12 podcasts, 30 shows. I have to audition at these clubs, and then I have to like have a girlfriend,
Oh, right. Yeah.
And like in an early stage relationship.
Yeah.
So
at that time, I was like 3 years and I was doing like 1 spot a night. So that was that was like a Brooklyn bar show. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was getting like the visiting.
You're doing, at that time, you're doing a different thing. Yeah,
so
yeah.
It was chaotic and so that was brutal. And so then when I moved here, I got a place, but essentially just lived with her for like a month.
It's fast.
And that was kind of awesome because it kind of solved a lot of those issues in a quick way. And then we had just like a fun honeymoon period.
That's the honeymoon. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It was almost like we got a lot of the fights out of the way. Then we had a honeymoon period.
Yeah.
And then when I moved out of there and moved into the place that I'm in there now, then that's where we started having like and you're like, all right, this is not a honeymoon phase. So I would say the honeymoon lasted like.
Wait. So that's when you moved.
Then when I got my own place, and it was like time to figure out like how to be in a relationship in the same city, not living together. Yeah. Like both very busy people. We kind of had to get like logistical about
it. Okay. Both very busy.
Yeah. And that's where like some of the honeymoon goes away.
It seems like in my experience, the planning of the stuff, when one person's like, well, I'm making an effort to do this, why don't you make an effort to do this?
Yeah.
Though that to me, that's always the crux of like, you hit a certain mark and then one person's like, well, I want to see you a little more. And the other person's like,
I can't.
That's not what we agreed to. Yeah.
That is kind of that's what's crazy. That kind of happened when I would be visiting.
Oh,
it was like,
but that's just, yeah.
So we got a lot of those fights out like early.
Okay,
and then and so then it was just kind of like everything was easier from there.
Wow.
Because it was like, well, that was like the hardest part.
Okay, so the hardest part was the initial
when I would be visiting for like 5 days at a time.
Okay, and now you're a year and change in.
Yeah.
How'd you do the 1 year anniversary?
We took a little ski trip outside of Toronto. I was up there on the road. She had a few days off, so she met me after the shows. We drove up to this cute little ski town, Blue Mountains.
Damn.
And skied for a couple days, stayed in a nice little place.
I feel like I've never done it, but I feel like getting that beer after a nice long day.
Woo-wee.
That's amazing, right?
It's the best. We started doing it at lunch. I mean, it's like you get out there at like 9 a.m. and then you ski for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
That man sitting down at the little chalet.
Because it's a workout, right?
Yeah, a little bit. And it's just like, it's kind of tiring and you're on your feet the whole time. And then
it's just, you feel like you earned it.
Yeah, you sit down.
Yeah.
You unlatch those boots. It's nice.
God,
that's a great beer.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, do you have any? I was going to ask. It was I guess the advice for the 1 year anniversary thing. That's kind of a ski trip. That was kind of like how things shook out for you guys. What would you have done in New York for the 1 year?
Well, we kind of did. I kind of did it one day too, but like, day in Central Park. She just loves the park. It's the best.
Yeah.
So a hang in Central Park, and then I'm like any chance we can. We're like this. It's like doing takeout at home. Because there's so few nights that we get. I don't care. I can say she's a comic, so it's like there's so few nights that we're both able to be at home.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, we'll just say like, "Hey, we'll pick a Sunday." Be like, "Don't you dare take a spot." On that day.
Yeah.
And we'll both block it off, and like that's what we did for the actual physical 1 year. It was like a hang in the park, a little picnic in the park, and then
I imagine you're going to her place.
Yeah. Well, she lives by herself. I have
she's
two roommates.
She's not saying what up to Tucker.
Nah. I think she's been there one time.
Hey, Tuck.
Yeah. She's been there one time. We came in under the cover of night. I didn't let him see her.
No. I got some more stuff I want to ask you about this, dude, but we're going to have to turn this into the Patreon in a second here. Tom, where can people find you? Where can they see you?
Listen to the Roommates-in-Law podcast every Thursday.
Dude, I had Timmy on this like a couple weeks ago. It's with Tim Smith.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah,
so funny,
dude. Good.
The best.
Yeah, it's me and Tim Smith every Thursday, Roommates-in-Law, wherever you get your podcasts. Other than that, if you're in New York, when does this come out?
Next week. So,
oh, sweet. Yeah. If you're in New York on May 8th, doing a little headlining show at Sesh Comedy. Could use some people there.
One of the goats. It's a great spot.
Great
Sesh
spot.
Comedy, guys.
Chinatown, unreal.
Beautiful.
Yeah, could use a green room. But other than that, yeah, punchuplive.com/Tommy Brennan for other tour dates.
Beautiful. Guys, go see the kid. He's one of the best in the game. He's amazing. We're going to turn to the Patreon. We love you guys. You've been an idiot for listening. Good night and good luck.
Bye.